If we're using menu button images, you'll see on our main menu, they're just static images. I'd like to get a little movement to those or different effects, we can add special effects. In the Management Console, under Page Properties, go down to the Menu Button section and click on Add Special Effects to Buttons. Right now the special effects are disabled. We can do different effects and we'll go through those effects down the page. The opacity makes the image opaque or you can see through it. We'll do 50%, so it would be 50% transparency. We'll go down and update that. And going out to the website and refreshing it, we'll see when we put our mouse over the images, it changes it and gives it a nice little effect. That's opacity. You can change the opacity from 10 to 100%. Button completely disappear or become completely solid. We can do a border, and you'll see that when we check on border, the opacity disappears. You can only do one of these effects. We can do a border of 1. We can do a border style if we make it solid, and then we can do a border color, so let's just pick a border color of red. Go down and submit that option. Go out to the website and refresh, and now when we go over the buttons, it'll add a border into the button. That can sometimes shift a page, so depending on your layout, it may not be a good option, but you can see how that option works. That border can be thicker or thinner, it can be dotted, it can be underlined, and so on and so forth. We can do an inset, which depresses the button into the page, and we'll do an inset of 3 and an inset border color of red, and we'll see the difference in that. Go out to the website again and refresh, and now you'll see that it kind of depresses down into the page instead of having a border. Try another option. We'll go down to Outset. That comes out of the page. We'll do the same thing. We'll do a 3. We'll do the same kind of a dark red border so we get the same effect, but we can see it beveling out from the page. Refresh the page again to change the effect, and you'll see now the button comes out of the page. Go back into the options. We'll try a slide. You can choose a distance in pixels, so we'll do, say, 10 pixels. You can pick a direction. We want to go to the right. Update that. Refresh it, and now you see your buttons will slide out as you go over them. Go down to the next option, which is drop, and you drop a distance of, we'll do 8. This isn't going to work very well for the buttons we have now because they're a vertical menu. If we had a horizontal menu across the page, that would work better. Let's refresh it to see it, and you'll see now that everything drops. It would be a much different effect if the buttons were going across the page, so some of these options are going to work on pages and some of them aren't. They're all going to work, but some are going to look different. You can do an underline, and we can just do like a 1 pixel underline. Well, let's do a dotted, and we'll do something like a bright yellow. We'll update that. Go out to the website, refresh it, and you'll see now that it's a dotted line. If we weren't using buttons, or if we were using flattened buttons, this would have a much bigger effect on the page. You can do a drop shadow and do a distance. Drop shadow will give us a little drop shadow on the buttons. You can see it gives us a white and gray drop shadow. Again, not a great effect for these buttons, but those are the options you have. If you're using buttons, you can choose any of these options and give your menu special effects.